said, I'm really sad Trent is going, but for me, he's the easiest to replace from the three because we have Bradley and we'll probably sign another decent right back. Think Adam, and by the way, thank you for the super chat, mate. I think many people would probably share your thought process there. Certainly from our conversations before I went away, I think most people would have agreed with you. Now, we may disagree on who that right back will be because we're going to speak about Jeremie Frimpong in a little while, but for me, I agree, which sounds counterintuitive because Trent's in his prime. He's 26. And we're talking about it being maybe better for us to keep the two older guys. But I do think they have a bigger impact in the short term on the team if they were to leave. So Trent going's not ideal, and I would have preferred him to stay, but I think I agree with you. They are more important for me as well. Any other names being mentioned other than Frimpong? Not really. The Frimpong stuff seems to be gathering some pace, actually, and thank you for the segue. Let me bring this up. Sorry, it's going to go all the way back up. So James Pearce of The Athletic on their podcast said, as good as Bradley's been, more his injuries than anything else, I think surely you have to get somebody with a decent profile. Somebody like Frimpong from Leverkusen. Speculation, Liverpool have been linked with him for a while. So Frimpong's a name that has come up quite a bit over the past few days. Now, I've always been honest and said I don't see a natural fit there for Frimpong unless maybe his position is tweaked very different to the one he plays for Leverkusen. If that's what Arne Slot wants, a world of Frimpong and Bradley I think would give us two very good options. I absolutely agree with James Pearce's concerns that the biggest setback to going all in on Conor Bradley may be the niggling injuries, which of course, like I've always said, nobody wants. The player doesn't want them, the coach doesn't want them, the fans don't want it. But we don't know if these are things that Conor Bradley may grow out of, if they're a growth thing, if they're some sports science thing that we don't understand. So the best case scenario for me is that you have a bit of both. You have him and another option. If that's Frimpong, look, I'm cool about that if that's what Arne Slot wants. Jeremie Frimpong. This report says Liverpool have held initial talks over a summer move for Bayer Leverkusen fullback Jeremie Frimpong, according to the PA news agency. Talks are said to be at an early stage, but the expected departure of Trent Alexander-Arnold to Real Madrid could accelerate Liverpool's interest in the player. How would we feel about that one? Do we believe the story about Frimpong? And would we be happy if it was a Frimpong and Conor Bradley selection at right back that Arne Slot had for next season? I'm really easy about these things. I want who the manager wants, because ultimately it's going to be his decision that he lives or dies by, and his career is successful or failed by. So I just want the manager to be backed and go from there. But look, Bradley and Frimpong for me would be good options at right back. Both of them different attributes, although both very good as well with getting forward. So I wouldn't be against it. Said I saw Frimpong in Salah's position for Holland and he's impressive. Maybe right back in the short term and long term Salah's replacement. Maybe? I definitely know that he plays a lot more advanced for the Netherlands. I think he played the right side of a midfield five maybe, or certainly I think it was a midfield five if I'm not mistaken. So in a wing back type of role. And that to me seems more of his natural position. But I think you could get a good balance, Colzer, between Bradley and Frimpong. Because Bradley, look, I think we all have faith in Conor Bradley from a talent perspective. But of course, some of the uncertainties there are around his injury concerns. And that's, I think, understandable from people to have.